Welcome back to Beards and Brews. Hey, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell. Not only does it help us out, but you'll know exactly when we have another one brewing. This week's movie, it's going to be Freddy Got Fingered. Man.
Oh, why?
Okay, here it is. This is the role Nicolas Cage was born for.
Man, if he were in this and the way he would absolutely play this straight, it would be phenomenal. But unfortunately, we have this not even half-assed thing from Tom Green, who fathered this thing and just kind of schlepped it out in the theaters.
Wait, you don't think this was half-assed? I think this was double-assed. This is all Tom Green.
I don't know. It's eighth-assed. Is that a thing? I don't know. Just a little bit of cheek.
This was written, directed, and starred in by Tom Green. And for those too young to know, Tom Green used to be someone. He was the primary guy for the Tom Green Show. He had his own show, which was a sketch comedy show sort of thing, sort of like the precursor to Viva La Bam plus Wonder Chosen, that kind of thing.
Sure. But unfortunately, after he made this movie, he was arrested for comedic terrorism.
Oh.
While in prison, he was diagnosed with testicular cancer.
Oh. But yeah, I actually saw this movie in theaters back when I was, 15? And I was really hyped for it. I remember it being pretty bad, but kind of funny at the time, for a 15-year-old. Man, this movie is... I want to say this just sweeping statement across the board. This movie is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Agreed.
I gotta say, to me, it's so bad, it's good. I watched this shit, and I hate Tom Green throughout. But at the same time, him making me cringe makes me keep watching. And then I don't know why I snicker into the next piece where Rip Torn is literally just abusing him.
See, that's the thing I kind of noticed halfway through. I was getting legitimately just pissed off at this movie. But I realized that's exactly what he wanted out of me. So I'm just you know what? I'm not even going to give that to you.
Is that what it was? Is that what he was trying for? Just anger comedy?
Dude, this whole thing's a troll. It fucking has to be.
100%, because Tom Green's character is just that. It's a character, and he is fucking over the top, delivering all this nonsense, and then he has his foils in the movie say exactly what you want them to say and do exactly what you want them to do.
It's a deeper troll than the bullshit on the screen, because of course the initial reaction this is horseshit, and it still is, but I feel he knew that after a while this would kind of be a cult thing, so he can just go back and say oh well, that was just my comedy at the time, this is art, as just this weird fucking defensive mechanism, but in reality this is horseshit, meant to be horseshit, and it's just supposed to get some kind of emotional response from folks.
Here's the thing. Okay, I understand that's Tom Green's character. It is sort of built from the bottom up to be annoying. One of my biggest complaints is that everyone around him also doesn't act like a human.
Oh, no, not at all.
Rip Torn is a caricature. The mom is a caricature. How everyone else acts, from that studio executive to everyone that he encounters, doesn't ever just say, "What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
Can we get you some help?" Yeah, but it's more in a rhetorical way. It's what is wrong with you, boy? Go to your room. It's not hey, what is actually wrong with you? Can we get you some attention that you need? Because this character is obviously mentally ill.
Yes. See, if the movie started asking questions, it would arrive to the conclusion that he was a psychopath, immediately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but this no longer would be a comedy. We couldn't do that then.
But the movie at least treats us to actual blind drunk Rip Torn. Just absolutely this close from just beating the absolute shit out of Tom Green constantly. I'm within the belief that Rip Torn in this movie actually hated Tom Green. And he was kind of the audience's reaction to the movie. And once I realized that, I was just you know what? When he's on screen, I'm going to at least enjoy him.
Rip is a treat. As soon as he's on the screen, you get this idea, in his first little thing where Tom's going to get a job, that he's this dad who's pushed his son to do great things. He's you can do it, son. I believe in you, but fuck, I'm glad you're gone. And whenever he comes back from the failure, you could just see it. From that point on,
yeah.
Rip Torn's character just wants him to die. It's I love you, but fuck, I hate you.
Please go sleep in some traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
And
actually
does.
on his way out, he buys him like a nice car, a Chrysler LeBaron convertible. Looks pretty sweet for 1999 or whenever this movie's from.
I'm the number one son. You didn't get a LeBaron.
Like I wanna be like, that's funny, but like, man, Tom Green is such a shit.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's if Tom Green was replaced with Nicolas Cage. So for the rest of this review, I know it's Tom Green. Just picture Nicolas Cage's face on that body saying those lines, and imagine how fucking golden this would be.
Well, here's the thing. There are certain things that I can imagine Nicolas Cage saying and doing, but there are certain things in this movie that even Nicolas Cage wouldn't do that.
Dude,
So
could you imagine that troll face from was it the vampire movie where he's like the filing? He's talking about that shit, but he's wiggling a horse dick.
Yeah, within about 7 minutes of this movie opening, all right, the idea is he's a cartoonist. He's moving to LA. He's going to have a job at a cheese shop, but he's also going to try and pitch his drawings. On the drive there, for no reason at all, he sees a horse breeding farm of some type, and we just see a giant horse dick. He pulls over to the side of the road to give it some attention for some reason.
No, he helps jack off a horse,
Mhm.
and when this was playing in front of my eyes, I immediately thought like, oh, he wrote a 70-minute movie and he just needed something.
Yeah.
No, he wrote
100%.
like a 24-minute movie because everything that's in this movie is that. It's just like, honestly, this is just a skit show with a vague plot running throughout.
Oh, 100%.
You're right.
I even like just jotted down some notes as I was watching, which I never do, but like this movie fucking forced my hand because I was like, man, this is trash. But like it totally felt like a prank show, but no one's in on the joke.
Yeah, like for this specific scene, you know, he's jacking off that horse. I don't he's doing that, but he's not just doing that. He's screaming things like, "Look at me, Daddy! I'm a farmer! I'm a farmer, Daddy!" while he's doing this, and there is no audience. He is doing this just for him.
Oh man, my child saw this.
Oof.
Turns his head at the end of the scene, and it's the first time he's ever said "fuck" in front of me. He just looks at me dead in the fucking eyes, dead in the eye. He goes, "What the fuck?"
The most genuine guttural response. What the fuck? And which I absolutely agree.
Yeah, you got
All
me
I
there.
could say was, "But wait, there's more."
There is.
Unfortunately.
It comes back.
Well, just to move things along, he goes all the way to Hollywood with a sketchbook full of junk, and he finds the place where his hero works, the place that publishes TV shows or cartoons or whatever, yada yada. He blows through security, just being an asshole all the way. He blows through Drew Barrymore, whom I assume he was married to at the time.
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to say. To speak of how high Tom Green's peak was, he was married to Drew Barrymore, and the mighty have fallen quite far.
Now, was it his peak, or did she just have really low standards? Or was she impressed with the horse dick earlier?
Porque no los dos.
Oh. I think just because his popularity at that time had fucking skyrocketed. If Megan Fox was around back then, he's the Pete Davis of them.
Pete Davidson?
Yeah.
Oh, don't do my boy Pete like that.
Oh.
Butthole eyes and all.
Butthole eyes and all. Oh, man. Steve Buscemi.
But here he is at Radioactive Comics, and he's breezing up. He's like, I got to talk to Dave Davidson. And there's a whole spiel that's just fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But I lost my shit whenever he goes running into the cafe where dude's eating as a fucking English Bobby. I threw my hands up and was like, poppycock!
Exactly. I was like, man, I can't believe I'm fucking watching The Fanatic all over again. The same fucking energy. He just have some dude on the spectrum in a Bobby outfit.
Oh,
running around trying to get some money.
Yeah, the whole reason that he's there, like, he went to the studio and was like, his wife has died, and was like, Drew Barrymore, the receptionist or whatever, is like, oh, he's at this restaurant. So he chases him down. And, okay, why is he in the outfit? What does that have to do with anything? It doesn't even have to do with his cartoon show, like was his X-Ray cat.
I think that was his key into the restaurant, because how hard it was to get into his actual place of employment, which it wasn't. So.
No, not at all.
So he tried harder to get into a restaurant instead?
Well, I mean, he did put his hat in the guy's food, so that's a joke, right?
Anyway, dude basically looks at his stuff and is like, hey, you gotta fuck on off. Like, quit the cheese shop. Don't call me. I'll call you. I won't. But yeah, just work on it. Go away.
He said, let's do Breakfast Club.
Don't you forget about me, but I hope I forget about you.
Yeah. I kind of wish he was more earnest, though. Like, he did give him solid career advice, but I kind of wanted him to do like you did and just like fuck right off, you know? Just...
I honestly enjoyed the line where he bursts in, he goes, Dave Davidson. And he looks at the lady and says, Dave Davidson? And she goes, I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Goes, did I ask if you're a woman? No, I asked if you're Dave Davidson.
That's a solid line. There's like 4 or 5 things I'm just like, this is legitimate comedy. And then the rest is just Tom Green.
I don't know if I'd go up to 4 or 5, but there's a couple.
It's little like throw off things. And to be honest, mostly Rip Torn.
Yeah, like you're right when you say that like Rip Torn does his job. He puts on a performance here, but like it's for nothing.
I guess so. I see where you're coming from, but I just enjoy the man Rip Torn because this is a guy who got so fucking drunk he drove his car into a bank thinking it was his own house.
And they let him off with it. They were like, nah, he does it every Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, fuck it. He's all right. He's a cool guy.
That's just Rip.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so he takes this advice and he wants to move back in with his parents back up in Portland, and on his way, again, we have an adventure with an animal that doesn't need to be here.
Man, it's one of those things where, one, it's fucking stupid, but two, like, it didn't even have the intelligence to go in a direction that was too far, but also funny. Like, every joke like this non sequitur, they just always go on too long. It's ridiculous, and it just escalates and escalates, and you're sitting in the audience like, yeah, I get it. Okay, next, please.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel for Tom Green in these moments because to me, he's more of a live comedian, and the idea of him gutting a deer and wearing it for a moment would be, shocking and outright funny in person. But you can see that he's done this over and over and over and over, and he's just over it. You know what I mean? Like, he's got to do the gag, and he's got to sit there for like 10 minutes and make shit happen with this deer, and they're going to take the best 30 second, best a minute, because they got to really pad that runtime.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And put it on the screen. And about 10 seconds of it, you go, huh, that's weird. And then it's still going. And you go, that's enough of that.
But wouldn't it be even better if, like, once the dummy gets hit by a truck and the guy gets out of the car or whatever, he's just like, what the hell's going on out here? And, like, wouldn't it be hilarious if it just, like,
was Adam Sandler?
I don't know. Just, like, wouldn't it be hilarious if it just, like, hard cut to him back at the house, but he just stole the guy's truck?
Yeah, that'd be good. He may have even murdered the man on the side of the road.
Yeah, exactly. Like, these, like, non sequiturs are so out of left field with the non cohesiveness. Once it's over, you're just like, yeah, that was kind of exhausting.
What was exhausting is watching him eat that sandwich moments later while he watches the horses fuck.
I didn't laugh because it was funny. I just laughed because that actually made it in the movie, if that makes sense. You know?
You laughed because what even is this?
Yeah, exactly. I just needed some kind of relief.
The TV executive, while he's giving him all that advice, says it the best. And I don't even know if it's one of his lines that he's supposed to be saying, but he just goes, this is fucking stupid. What is happening here? And he's just looking right at Tom Green's character like, what is this? And he just goes, it's X-Ray Cat. And you just go, no, Tom Green, this guy is honestly asking you, what the fuck are we doing right now?
Yeah. Like, in the movie language, Tom was showing him his sketches, but, like, when they're actually showing them the scene, he was reading the script.
I can buy that. The next thing we know, Tom is back in his childhood home.
Mm-hmm.
Supposed to be having dinner. He doesn't want dinner. He wants a chicken sandwich. He's 28 years old. He can eat a chicken sandwich if he wants to.
There's some kind of commentary that goes on through this movie that I don't know if it's him actually, like, yelling at his actual dad that may have fucked with him his whole life, or if he's trying to be like this guy who's kind of embodied the whole man-child spirit to, like, the nth degree. Sure. But, like, I honestly feel like he was trying to say, like, you don't necessarily have to grow up to be an adult, but fuck this movie.
Yeah,
I get it, because it feels like there's jabs throughout to say, hey, Dad, look, you said I was going to be nothing, and look at me now, bitch.
Are you guys trying to diagnose him with some daddy issues?
Oh, 100%. And Rip Torn's like, I'm your fucking papa. Get over here. I'm going to twist your fucking head off.
Yeah, pretty much. Especially when he's out like trying to make a skateboard ramp at 3 a.m. just to piss his dad off. And he ends up throwing something at his friend and breaking his leg open.
Harlan Williams. I was waiting to see who he would play in the movie because I enjoy his comedy. I enjoy him in Down Periscope. Fucking hilarious.
This is a guy from Half Baked, right?
Yeah, he's funny. I was like, okay, I want to see this guy. And then he winds up breaking his leg, bone sticking out, and Tom Grease licking his wound. And then I realized, I was like, these people are in this movie because they owe him a favor.
He's got some shit on them.
Right before that, whenever Rip Torn makes this sound, when he throws the chicken sandwich, that actually, like I said, Rip Torn is delicious in this. He grabs the sandwich, he's like,
yeah.
It's just so fucking ridiculous.
He does that quite a bit through the movie.
Yeah, just pure unbridled rage. And then you get you get the skateboard scene where Harley, no neck guy, shoots up, breaks his leg, compound fracture, bone sticking out, and fucking the dad's like, you fucking throws his skateboard out there and then smashes his leg. Like, Rip Torn is gold.
Yeah, to the point of him just like making guttural sounds and stuff. His neighbors, which is like a running gag, right? And they're just like, my son's trying to sleep over here, damn it. And Rip Torn's response is literally just, just screams at him. And I didn't laugh because that's how it was written. I didn't laugh because that was a joke. I laughed because Rip Torn probably read the script and just tossed it in the trash, and that was his ad-lib.
Yeah,
and a solid one.
I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Yeah, I'm just gonna scream, and millions of people are gonna see it. Fuck off.
You think millions of people saw this movie?
Well, fingers crossed.
All right, so his friend has a broken leg. He's held up in the hospital. Tom Green's going to go see him. Just so happens there's a cute nurse there how does this happen? I don't care that she's in a wheelchair. Like, that doesn't...
Oh, that was the joke, though. That was the worst payoff I've ever seen. He tries the same shtick with Drew Barrymore earlier. He's like, hey, I'm weird and wacky. What's your phone number? But she falls for it because she's dumb as shit, too. And then, she just, rolls away. And the camera holds on it. And you're like, oh, that's the joke.
Well,
okay.
Is it a joke, though?
Oh, totally.
They
100%.
don't...
100%.
It's
but
almost
winning.
an unjoke. Yeah,
Yeah, because she's hot.
Yeah.
But that's
she just wants caned and to suck dick.
Seems like a win-win to me.
Just bringing it up is more funny than the movie actually telling me this shit.
Yeah, he's telling her all this stuff I'm in investing, stocks, bonds, Wall Street, New York City. Just saying jargon. And I don't know that she's even believing it, or it's hard to tell because she doesn't act like a human.
No.
People don't act like this.
No.
Well, hell, the only reason why he's at the hospital is to visit his friend, and he goes in there and he just fucks around a little too much, makes a lady go into labor, and she has the baby all the while these native fellas are behind her just smacking on some drums for whatever reason. I'm just there's something here. There is something funny here. But there's also Tom Green here, and that just kills everything.
It's, hey, can you keep it down? I'm pregnant. Does a kickflip.
This scene is straight out of Naked Gun minus Leslie Nielsen.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. If Tom Green wasn't such a massive dipshit in this movie, this whole scene would have worked because it's so absurd, but it's not necessarily mean-spirited.
No, it's just kooky, but at the same time, they make it too real by having that ultra-realistic, if not 100% real baby afterwards.
Yeah, okay, so the chaos causes her to go into labor, and he's like, no, I'm going to deliver this baby. I'm a real doctor. I'm a real doctor, Daddy. And he holds her legs open, and she's like, no, this is... Guys.
You can say it. Definitely illegal.
Yeah, okay, and then he just delivers the baby. It spits right out of her vagina. It's not crying, so what does he do? He bites the umbilical cord and spins it around like a fucking helicopter. Is this comedy?
I don't like it. I mean, at this point, I did have the thought, is this supposed to be so avant-garde that it kind of wraps around itself, that kind of thing? But then I realized, oh no, I'm legitimately supposed to be annoyed by this.
Is this the Captain Beefheart of film?
Oh my god.
I actually laugh at the reactions of the people as the blood is spattered upon them.
I think, if anything, the best part about this particular bit is the fact that those Native American women were just like on their drums the whole time. Like they're just like they're just creating. Yeah, they're just creating like the soundscape behind them this entire time.
So he gets kicked out and he goes to meet up with his handicapped hottie.
Correct.
Mhm.
And bro, all she wants to do is make the wheelchair from Silver Bullet and suck dick.
Yeah, and she likes the little game where she flips the coffee creamer. She's got like a little thing that she does at work and evidently also at home because she doesn't have anything else to do in her spare time.
Whatever. She wants a rocket cart, and Tom Green comes over, is like, "So, I got an umbilical cord taped in my belly. You want to suck that too?"
Check.
Yeah. Yeah, like, all right, so her thing is she likes to have her legs caned. And I remember this being a thing. Couldn't remember what it was from. I thought it was from a movie that was a lot better than this. Maybe like Shallow Hal or something like that. Deuce Bigelow. By the way, those are both terrible movies, but they are fully better than this.
That's a huge bitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was from one of those, but it's actually from this. And she's like egging him on, like, come on, pussy, hit him harder with this like bamboo cane. That's something here. Okay, there is something here in this scene.
It's almost an Austin Powers bit. Like if Austin Powers were R-rated or something like that.
Yeah, and she eventually, gets off and is like, hey, yeah, all right, now it's your turn. I'm going to suck your dick. I really like sucking dick. I'm going to suck your dick.
She's very forward about that the whole time.
She pulls up the shirt and his umbilical cord is taped to it.
No, I don't think that's his. I don't think that's his. I think that's what's left of the hospital scene.
It's the child's. Yeah.
That's what I would have thought. But given what he says, I got the illusion that it was his. I don't know.
It'd be like if I strapped a Slim Jim to myself and I told the missus to snap into it.
But yeah, her response is, "That's okay. I can work around it." I need that kind of enthusiasm from a woman in life. Anyway.
Oh no.
After that, he convinces her to go to dinner with him. And fuck, I don't care. This is such a good scene. He starts acting up so bad and pretending that he's a big shot with a fake phone and a video or an audio recording of a ringing cell phone. And he starts screaming about 40 million fucking Deutschmarks credit. And I could see someone doing that. And it draws the attention of his father, who is also there. And then things, once again, thanks to Rip, escalate in the best way.
Yeah, for some reason, all the people in this movie that we know are in this restaurant just separately, all at once.
Yep, unknowingly, too.
Yeah. And Rip Torn is so sincere in his hatred towards this guy. Like, he walks over, and Tom Green's just like doing a little flick of his wrist, like, "Get out of here, Pops, I'm trying to get laid." And he's just like, no, this needs to stop. I'm going to murder you now.
Yes. And his fucking insults for the girl in the wheelchair are fucking top notch.
That did have me rolling. I'm not going to lie, because once more, it's so sincere and just so snappy.
Do you have a problem that I can't use my leg? No, bitch, you're the problem with your leg.
And just fucking buried her.
And I love that even the character doesn't say another word. She's like, "I'm leaving," and just leaves. And then it turns into a food fight that leads to them being arrested.
And it's so weird, right? Like this moment where like, shit's hit the fan, wackiness just keeps getting more and more escalated. And then like these cops run in and this lady goes, "Bam, bam, bam, get the fuck off the table." It just felt like reality sank back in. Not just like movie reality. It's like, I just snapped back to my chair. I was like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what would happen if some dipshit did this.
Yeah. Yeah, there's really not enough of that in this movie. There's not enough security, not enough. Just like put him where he needs to be, which is not in this movie.
Well, just like the non sequiturs in the movie, beer review.
Yeah, all right. That's a good way to transition. The beer that I have today is from Dargett craft beer out of Yerevan, Armenia. We are international today. This is their Belgian Tripel beer. All right, much like this movie, I was expecting this beer to be trash, except this beer is actually not. This is pretty solid. It's crisp. There's a lot of that lemon, yeasty flavors that you get. Like, there's nothing added to this. It's just, water, yeast, barley, and hops. But the number of flavors that you can get out of just those 4 is incredible. This being very citrusy. Like I said, the yeast gives like a bready, almost like banana flavor to it. It's not anything crazy. This is a true to style Belgian triple. But that's all you want, right? If you buy a beer that says Belgian triple that was made in Armenia, this is about the best you can hope for, honestly. This is solid, guys.
Much like the cheese on my cheese sandwich.
Well, hey, speaking of getting what you paid for, it's almost time for that part where Freddy gets fingered.
No, we still got a little ways. For a movie called Freddy Got Fingered, it takes like 2/3 of the movie before we get to any illusion of Freddy getting fingered, any reference at all.
I think they just had to pick a title from somewhere in the movie. Like
I guess.
I don't think they would have sold any tickets if they just called it Big Waste of Time.
Or
Big
they
waste
could have.
of time.
That is a good title, but they could have called it The Tom Green Show, the movie, Daddy, or something.
Tom Green Tries, the movie.
Yeah.
Tom Green wept.
I told you.
No.
I told you I'd make it big in Hollywood, Daddy.
Oh,
The
fuck.
movie.
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
Yeah,
Daddy, would
by
you
far.
like some sausages?
By far the most memorable portion of this movie to me, and I think probably everyone, is the Daddy, would you like some sausage scene, which doesn't mean it, like, it. There's no reason for this scene.
No, none whatsoever. And I think the reason why it quote unquote works is because Tom Green is not the focus of the scene. He's legitimately in the background just singing about what the fuck ever, and sausages are dancing around.
True.
Like the rest of the movie.
Ripcorn storms into the house and fucking curb stomps through the goddamn keyboard.
He really does. He is legitimately the audience of this movie. Like watching this, I'm just like, man, I really want to beat the shit out of Tom Green. And then fucking Rip Torn comes in and manhandles the shit out of him. I'm like, yeah.
And what this is, Tom Green has a string tied to every finger like he's a puppet master, except the strings are tied up to pulleys that have sausages on the other end. They're dancing while he's playing this keyboard song and occasionally doing some drawings or art or whatever. Again, guys, what is this?
Man, I don't know. It's almost like this scene in particular was like a very special Hellraiser.
Oh, we have such sights to show you.
That's a fucking sight, Cenobite.
Sausage bite.
But now they have to go to court-ordered fucking family therapy, and Tom Green is there, and he goes into one of his rants, and the psychiatrist goes, "Don't you see that he just wants you to love him for who he is?" He goes, "Fuck him. He's a goddamn embarrassment to this family."
Yeah, he just shuts him down immediately.
Now, my favorite line is from this portion is, "Dad, I just want to eat chicken burgers." "You little prick."
It's not even a response. He just hates his van so much.
Oh.
He could have said anything like, "Daddy, please, why don't you love me?" You're like, "Get fucked, kid."
Yeah, and
Fucking Sweet Kim music seem out the window.
This is when we just get like the offhand comment, "Oh, he fingers Freddy. At least I don't finger Freddy. He fingers Freddy behind the furnace or something."
Some shit.
He molests him, and then he jumps out the window and runs away.
Like a screaming ape.
Yeah.
And even Rip Torn was after him, "You little fucker liar!"
Yes, and this is where I think the meat of the movie happens, because now it's just the chaos that Tom Green has sown throughout, all culminating, and then you get fucking Rip Torn wanting to kill this man.
Absolutely. The more Rip Torn in the movie, the better. Because like after this, you know how you have like CPS going to the house, and even though Freddy's like a grown ass man, he's like 26 or something, they take him away.
They take him away. They don't even take away the father.
Yeah, and like Rip Torn is standing in the driveway, and the CPS lady is just like gawking around, just fucking look straight at her. He's like, "What the fuck are you looking at?"
Dude, I love it. They answer the door and they're like, "Where's Freddy? We gotta see him." He's like, "I'm Freddy." He's like, "Your dad can't hurt you anymore." He goes, "What?" He goes, "He'll never finger you again." He goes, "He's never fingered me." And they're like, "Shh."
It's okay. It's okay. We'll take you someplace safe so your dad won't finger you anymore. What? What?
Oh, not Colin Hanks, just getting arrested so his dad can't finger him.
Man,
Yeah, that's fucking Finch from American Pie.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shipbreak.
What a step up.
Dude, it gets really weird now because Rip Torn is drunk.
Oh, it gets
and
real
he's
weird.
mad at Tom Green, and he's down there, and he's like, "Fuck you, Dad." He goes, "Fuck me. You want to fuck me? Huh? You little prick. Fuck your daddy. Fuck your daddy." And now, mind you, this is some shit I could see someone doing in a response, like just out of anger and spite.
Yep,
Like,
especially if
fuck
you're
me?
drunk.
Here, fucking fuck
Yeah.
me, you
Well,
prick.
see, that's the whole reason why I said, like, watching Rip Torn in this movie, I felt genuine hatred for Tom Green, because none of this felt like acting. None of this felt like it was written. It's just him legitimately boiling over for like 82 minutes.
Do you think
Yeah.
that Tom Green in the directing of this film was much the way that Stanley Kubrick did when directing The Shining, and that he just made the actors do so many takes that did boil over? Can you imagine making Rip Torn do this scene like 120 times?
I think the difference.
He wiped his ass with the drawing.
No, that was all Rip Torn. By the way, that was his ad-libbing then.
And that's his actual poop on there. That's not a prop.
Like, I can just see, like, even though the movie's a fucking hot disaster, but like behind the scenes it was very just clean. It's like, okay, I want you to come in the room. Yeah, just pull your pants down and just act like a wild. He's like, if I wipe my ass over there with your shit. He's like, oh, that's perfect. That sounds great. Right on character. All right, and scene. Yeah.
Man.
Do you need to, like, just drop your drawers and just start angrily
Fuck
yelling
your
at
daddy.
Tom Green from miles away?
I mean, I might. If I ever see him walking around Hollywood.
Oh shit. We get a little montage of him giving up his life. You know, Moby's playing, his girl can't get her rocket chair to work, and she's like, "You're not special ed, you just got big dreams." And he's like, "Fuck you and your rocket chair. Get sent."
Yeah, he's actually kind of a dick. She's out there like actually about to get things going, you know, just tweaking last minute things, and he's just like, you know, I'm just a stupid idiot. We're both just stupid idiots because I should give up on my dreams. You should give up on your dreams too because they're obviously stupid. You can't get them to work. Bye.
Yes.
Whatever. But like, I guess it was trying to play with like the whole misery loves company kind of thing. But like, for some reason, I was really kind of hoping she would just die.
Oh.
That sounds bad. It sounds bad. I get it, but like the way they were showing it, like, you know, he was in the dumps. This is a part of the movie where like the character's in the worst spot, you know, and the rest is him trying to get out of it. But like the way they were showing the footage on the news and stuff, it totally looked like she was about to blow up or like crash into something.
You thought she was going to go for a Sally ride?
Oh, no.
Wait, was she the one that blew up? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
A wild
man.
challenger appears, right?
If her legs were a little bit better, she can get a Paul Walker.
Oh, no. Oh, Walker, because she can't. Okay, I get it.
Dude, this fucking has layers, and it's all better than the rest of this movie.
You're right. Yeah, so at this point in the movie, we're actually kind of on a downer. Everybody's depressed. Tom Green's like, oh, I'm not going to be a real cartoonist. I might as well go, you know, peddle some more cheese sandwiches. But the next thing you know, we've got another comedic high here. We're at the Institute for Sexually Molested Children.
Is that a
That's the
comedic
thing.
high? like I kind of get what they were going for. And yeah, it's absurd, sure, whatever. But like, you have all these kids who are like presumably touched or molested or something like that. And you got like not Colin Hanks just being like, you know what? Maybe.
Maybe
Dude.
what?
Maybe he
It's
was
so-
like, he was totally convinced, you know, that something did happen to him, but nothing really did.
That child like shut him down and made him think, was I molested? Just with 2 words. He's like, no, I was never fingered. And he put his hand on it and he goes, hey, no.
Yeah, the
Was I?
1,000-yard stare and everything.
Oh, fuck. Now, at this point, he sees that she can succeed and so can he. So he's an animator and he goes to get a jobby and dad doesn't believe it. And at this point, Rip has snapped because his wife has left him shack. And
Yes.
I
Yes.
fucking forgot about that.
No, at one point, just like offhand, Tom Green is like, we shouldn't let him treat you like he treats us. You should go, you know, you should have sex with a stranger, you know, a black man, a basketball
satisfy
player.
your urges.
Satisfy your urges.
Oh,
and then
man.
then 20 minutes later, we got her in a hotel room with Shaquille O'Neal. Good on you, mommy.
Can he give it to you like this? Can he give it to you like this?
Then he like rolls over and he kind of like has a sad face.
Yeah, it's all pouty.
But now that you brought that up, like I can't believe that was fucking telegraphed. Like that was foreshadowed. I was just like, what?
It's the only thing in this movie that had any forethought at all. It's like, hey, we're gonna bring that one back.
That whole bit then feels like they were trying to work on their screenplay at Starbucks, and Shaq walks in and he's like, "Hey, Shaq, you want a piece of this?" And he's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Check.
Also give me a venti white chocolate mocha.
Yeah, and he just sits down and starts talking about it. It's like, tell me about the cheese sandwiches again.
So do I actually get to have sex with your mom, or is that just a scene in the movie? Is there a sex scene?
Now, Gordy, Tom Green, goes screaming once again back into Radioactive Comics to try to pitch his idea, and the guy once again says, "Hey, you got decent artwork, but there's nothing here. The dad and son characters, they're funny, but people aren't really like that." And then boom, the door gets kicked in, and it's Rip Torn, who has literally fought his way into the office by chucking receptionist after receptionist to their implied doom.
He actually assaults Drew Barrymore. Like, he's gonna get a charge on that.
To be honest, it's totally fine because I was thoroughly entertained by this entire thing. Because in the movie, like you said, he fought through like a bunch of people to get to this office. But in reality, he fought through the entire film crew to get back on camera. And he's like, "There you are, you little shit. I'm going to tear your dick off." It's like,
Yeah.
you know.
She goes to stop him and is like, "Excuse me, sir, what's your name?" And he's just like, "Get away from me, bitch."
It's not acting. That's what makes it so good.
We're not hosting some intergalactic kegger here.
Yes,
Oh, God.
there it is.
And he just fucking rips in there, and the first thing he does is grab Tom Green and body slam him through that fucking entire wall display.
No, my favorite part of this is when he's chasing David Davidson, whatever his name is, around the desk. He's just up with his hands in the air. "Oh, don't hurt me, Big Daddy. Don't hurt me, Big Daddy."
Yeah, like he thinks it's all a fucking gag, and it's just, it's good.
No. Like, he was totally pushed to the edge in real life, and that's what was on camera. He's like, "Oh, no, we'll use it. Make him look like a kooky dad or something."
He was just drunk chasing Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, 100%.
Wait, was that Anthony Michael Hall?
Yeah, that's what I said, Breakfast Club guy.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I am just having the realization that was Anthony Michael Hall. My mind is blown.
Did you forget about him?
I sure fucking
Oh, no.
After this tire disaster of a meeting, like, he gets his wish, he gets his TV show, and like Breakfast Club flat out gives him a check, like a bank check for $1 million.
I feel like that
So
would be
which-
done differently, like maybe a wire or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's definitely like how
And-
you would perceive success to happen. You walk into a room, "You've done it. Here's the money." You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Monopoly. That's what you yell when you get rich. Monopoly.
Monopoly.
So you know you won.
Jenga. Uno.
Jenga.
Yeah, that's it. Yahtzee.
Oh no.
Yeah, any of those games that you have to shout out, you shout them all out when you're rich. So he gets his $1 million, takes it to the bank, which conveniently enough is where his friend works, and is like, "Oh, that's pretty much what I'm getting from his friend."
No, that's entire.
That's the
That's
scene.
the whole thing. It's the whole thing because like he runs in and he's like, "You can't come in here with all this ruckus," and he's like, "But I have money." He's like, "Well, I guess we can have your business now." And
I have
even
1 million of the dollars.
Maybe a little ruckus as a treat.
yeah. And he has this thing. He's like, "I want to deposit this much, but I want to keep out $100,000." And Harlan Williams is like, "Well, what are you gonna do with $100,000?" Hard cut to Apocalypse Now.
Yes.
Yeah, like he rents a helicopter, goes up to his girlfriend's apartment, and is like, "Hey, you want to come up to the roof, maybe suck some dick?"
First of all, what kind of fucking apartment has a helipad?
It's LA,
What kind
right?
of apartment has a handicapped accessible roof?
All of these are valid questions. So, does the H stand for helipad or handicap spot?
Ooh.
Handicapped.
Jesus
They're gonna
Christ.
have to fight over it, and I think the helicopter's gonna win. She doesn't have working legs.
I think the only struggle here was just to hear anything because it's just helicopter audio for the next 5 minutes.
I thought
True.
that was so funny. I really did. I thought that was a good bit because he's saying all this like really sentimental, important things, and she just goes, "What?" And then he has to continuously get louder 4 times before you can actually hear it.
Yeah, and it comes down to basically
You
like, "You inspired me to achieve my dreams. I'm actually rich now. Here's some jewels." And she's just like, "Thank you, but I don't care about the jewels. I just want to suck your cock."
Okay, there's a pause in there, and I knew what was fucking coming, and out loud I was like, don't fucking say it. Don't fucking say that line. And she does with pretty decent gusto. It's like, all right. That's always just going to be there forever on her resume.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I'm for it. Handicapped girls who like to suck cock, get at us.
Can't wait to be followed by that Facebook page.
Anyway, so he's like, all right, that's great. Good luck. I'm gonna see my daddy. So he sneaks in on his dad, asleep in his bedroom in like night vision.
Yeah, it just turns
Tom
into like
Clancy's Splinter Cell.
Yeah, Splinter
Yep.
Cell. He walks in, he's like, whee! Knocks off the breakers, which are on the first floor for whatever reason. Walks into his dad's room, a laser on his gun, and he wakes up like, ah, what the hell? Who is that?
Somebody in this room, I'll kick your ass.
I know. I'll
I
kick your
don't
ass.
think that was a part of the movie. Again, they startled this man in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
He's just making vague threats.
Yeah, cover his bases.
That's kind of why I feel like this is the precursor to something like Viva La Bam, because it wouldn't surprise me if this was just Rip Torn, asleep in bed. He snuck in much the way Bam would sneak in on like his parents and just do stupid shit.
To be honest, the movie would improve if like Rip Torn just woke up and there's just hamburgers all over his shit.
Oh, goddamn chicken burgers!
Yeah, there we go.
Chicken burgers. All right, so next thing we know, he's spending $750,000 to take this bedroom to Pakistan.
He fucking cuts a portion of the house off, transports it to Pakistan with his dad under heavy sedation for him to wake up, open the door, and be like, "What the fuck? We're in Pakistan!" And then Tom Green nearly kills everyone in this little trench of desert.
I'll tell you, my big take from this is that you can be accused of molestation and still cross national borders. Pre 9/11, guys.
And this entire scene, I'll call it a scene. It's really just, it happens.
Yeah, this is like the very end of the movie, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I feel like there's an actual ending to this movie where Rip Torn gruesomely murders Tom Green. And that's exactly how it should end. But then he was like, nah, what if they just went to Pakistan? And they're just like, yeah, it's your movie. What the fuck ever.
Yeah, you know what else we need? Tom Green to jack off an elephant now.
Oh, it's like, hey, remember that scene when you jerked off that horse? And he's like, yeah. What if it was like the same but bigger?
Yeah. Test audiences love the horse.
Yes. All this is going on. He's wrecking this semi through all these hovel houses. The house is up on some sort of center strut pole. And this ends with him crashing and the house falling on top of him in this honestly 100% real, 100% terrifying stunt of the house falling on top of him with the window going over him, leaving him completely safe, which is fucking mind-blowing. And you can see the fear on Tom Green's face. I actually remember this stunt, and it was a big deal on MTV at the time, and watched a whole little section about it. And Tom Green was terrified. They did it in one take, and they had run it, of course, dozens of times before that with the math and whatnot. But they actually put Tom Green there and let it fall on him.
I've been saying it for years. Tom Green is the next Jackie Chan.
Oh, beautiful. Fingered in the Bronx, coming soon.
Ooh.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so this is pretty much the end of the movie. There is no more plot progress at all. It's just, where'd you get all this money? I got it from selling my cartoon. Oh, you're really successful. I'm finally proud of you now that you have $0.
Well, this is
because
also
you spent it all on this.
This is also after Rip Torn was absolutely leveled by being sprayed by elephant jizz.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Gallons.
Of course. Yeah, and also I forgot about the this is kind of beautiful actually. This got an actual laugh out of me. So once all this is done, they're laying there in the middle of the Pakistani desert. They get accosted by some villagers or something. I don't know. But they get accosted by these villagers and they're surrounded, captured, and his first line is Buenos dias.
Oh, dude. He's just so deep and redneck too. He's like, Buenos dias. They just throw a net on him.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm just going to just throw it to the wind, see what happens.
Bees and disease are you too.
Bumblebee tuna. Bumblebee tuna.
Oh, but then they come POWs and they eventually get freed, and he gets this prisoner's welcome home, and some small child gets chopped up by a helicopter propeller and film.
Yeah, that was kind of a running gag though. The neighbor boy always getting like baseball to the face. He tried to spear that Chrysler the Baron at some point. This kid is fucked up.
To be honest, like towards the end, when you were talking about like the one thing that got a laugh out of you, I thought you were going to talk about the very end, like when they come back and everybody's congratulating them on being like, you know, not POWs. There's a guy with a sign that says, "When is this movie going to end?"
No, I didn't even see that, but that's a solid sign.
And I was just like, yeah, same.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about this movie almost as long as the movie actually existed, because it's only like 87 minutes minus credits. It's like 80 minutes long.
Yeah, and you know, hey, just a heads up for all those future filmmakers: if you need to pad out the time, go straight to Pakistan.
Also, a note: if you want to do any of this, don't do any of it.
Just do not.
No.
Well, with all that covered, I'm gonna have to say I didn't like this movie. Pretty on the nose. It's like weaponized awkwardness. Like 20 minutes into the movie, I already had my summation written down. It's basically, if it wasn't for terrorists, it would have been the worst thing to come out of 2001. But then like halfway through the movie, I'm just like, you know what? That's the response that he wants. Like he wants me to get a little ticked off. And like, whatever, I'm not going to give it to him. Fuck him. It's just a bad movie.
Yeah, this is an art project from a man who is not an artist. I said it before, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen. I saw this in theaters, but as a 15-year-old, I didn't appreciate it for how terrible it was. I think this movie is awful. I don't think there's very many redeeming qualities. Rip Torn is a delight, but as a movie, this isn't one. This is Tom Green Show, the movie with like maybe 10 minutes of plot thrown in there. Don't watch this. It's bad.
I think it's terrible. All right, it's fucking terrible. But man, oh man, give it a shot, because there's shit in here that is so awkward that it's like literally watching a car accident. There is a real movie with decent acting coming from some decent actors. There is production value. There's a lot of good things to see here. And then you have one character who's so genuinely out of place that you're like, what the fuck is this guy doing in this movie? And it's insane. And to me, that's what makes it enjoyable. Now, I'm not going to throw it on once a year or anything like that, but I'd watch it again at some point.
Sorry,
Freddy, one of my notes was, this is a 90-minute train wreck. Like when you're talking about the whole car thing.
And we never, ever got any resolution on Freddy. He's still in that academy for boys who have been molested or whatever it was called.
But he stayed strong with his
Still
family.
there.
Didn't cut his hair or shave his beard.
Fuck it. That was Freddy Got Fingered. If you have any strong feelings about the movie, leave it in the comment section below.
Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. Hit that little bell icon, because we promise next time it won't be Freddy Got Fingered.
Oh, shit. Get out there and follow us on social media. We got that Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter. We got all sorts of things, y'all. We're on the YouTubes. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. There's no reason you guys aren't giving us a shot. And if you would, you'll probably at least get laughed or discover that maybe sometime in your past, you got fingered behind the heater.
Watch this be the one that fucking blows up.
I hope.